Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mark from Solar Games, and good job, guys. Round of applause to everybody. Looks like we held the line. As far as I can tell, this item probably didn't actually sell out. I know it says sold out on the website, but it sold out in 30 minutes with low demand and low traffic on their website. Seems fishy, right? So I'll give you the play-by-play for all the people who were sleeping, missed this whole thing. So 9 o'clock, as everyone knows, expected. Website opens up the sales. It's available, you can buy. Quantity limited was at 5, but it's per order. So that technically means that if you buy 5, you can get back in line, buy 5 more, etc. Just keep going. What looked to be happening was right at 9 when I checked in and put 5 in the cart and go to checkout, they put you in this queue system. So I've never seen this queue system before, but not from Wizards, but it sounds like this is a similar queue system that they've used for the Secret Lair 30th anniversary advent calendar thing, right? So basically it sounds like the same thing. They put you in line, you have a queue. Once the queue expires, then you have a certain amount of time, usually 10 minutes to go make the purchase, and that's how you do it. So 9 o'clock, the queue time, when I first tried, it was 8 minutes for me personally, which is pretty low, honestly, at the moment the drop happens. But the crazy part is, as soon as I looked back on the screen, I went from 8 minutes to 4 minutes. So whatever was happening in front of me, I guess the queue cleared up real quick. Somebody on my comments was commenting that the queue actually went probably down super fast because in the beginning, especially, everyone was just checking. No one's actually buying this thing. So yeah. A couple minutes, 10 minutes later, 9:15-ish, I check and the queue is actually 2 minutes. Again, no load on the website during this time. 9:24, I check again, queue was 3 minutes, a slight uptick, but again, these numbers are arbitrary. They're just set by Wizards. So they can essentially say the queue is like 20 minutes and it doesn't actually matter, right? They could have set any number they want, because I would notice things like it would say 3 minutes and look away, look back, and it's like, I'm done, I'm ready to go check out. So it's really crazy. 9:32, I check, there's essentially no wait. I think the wait was 1 minute, but it was like this. I opened it up, I click go to cart or whatever, and it says you're in queue, and then instantly popped the message, hey, you're in line or you're ready to purchase, would you like to continue? Yes, whatever. And of course I check back on 9:37, it says sold out. So I got a little bit suspicious, right when that message came out, because I started thinking, if the website was not under load, it didn't seem like we had to go fight to be in queue to go purchase this item, how could it have sold out in 37 minutes? Really, think about it. Is it possible? Because here's the thing, I've seen many sales like this. Look, if you ever tried to buy BlizzCon tickets, 30th anniversary advent calendar, any sneaker drops, PS5, the Wii, do you guys remember buying the Wii? Yeah, it doesn't work this way. Right? Usually, or any Black Friday back in the old school days, right? When Black Friday deals were good, they would drop the deal and instantly that website is hosed. I mean, you go to bestbuy.com, it's gone. There's no bestbuy.com. That's what's normal for a deal that's good for high demand. It's not normal that there's high demand for an item and there's barely any traffic on the website, barely any queue time. That is not what you expect, okay? So I started thinking about this, right? The only possible thing that this could have happened, there are 3 possible cases I thought about, right? Number 1, WOTC saw that sales were bad. This is probably the most likely, by the way. They saw the sales was bad because these, you know those guys are in the background looking at all the sales data, sell-through data, and checking and seeing, okay, how many are we selling? How many are we selling per minute? What's the traffic on the website look like? They know. And of course, after a couple minutes, everyone got disinterested because it's looks like everyone can purchase, so people were leaving. So they know how many people were viewing the website and how many were actually going through and clicking the buy button, right? And so based on that data, they could say, oh shit, we're not doing well. So they pulled the sale. Of course they did. That's what I think, right? Again, they don't want the desperation to become obvious. I had thought, maybe other creators also thought the same thing, was they would have left the sale up for at least a couple of hours, not 37 minutes. But again, if you're trying to create fake hype, you got to do it this way, right? You pull the item right away. Or, it's like I think when I was a kid, one of my buddies whose uncle runs this club, he opened a new club, and what he did was he played music super loud for 7 days. And every night, and he would queue up outside his club and not let a single person in for 7 straight days. So it's, there's little techniques, and this is back in 2006. So yeah, people know how to do this, right? You drive demand, you drive hype, it's all the same thing. So that's case number one. Number two, there was actually a smaller quantity released for the sale than everyone thought. That's possible, right? But the truth is the demand was also short. So in this case, I suspect, this is kind of like number one too. Maybe they were going to sell 100,000 boxes or planning to, but as soon as they saw like the demand wasn't high, they dropped down the quantity from 100,000 to maybe 1,000 or whatever. And of course, some people did buy the product. Guarantee you some people bought the product. There's no way this thing was like not being sold, right? And guarantee you all the scalpers were doing the same thing. They looked on eBay, saw that last week these 4 packs, whatever, from the Las Vegas event were being sold for, $1,200, $1,300, $1,500. So there's a market out there for this. So of course they're thinking, do a quick flip, you do the math yourself. You do a quick flip, you're earning a couple $100. It's fine, right? And that's why right after the sale, you see on eBay, a ton of new listings came up for 30th anniversary because, they're holding heavy bags now, right? So of course there's buyers, but the issue is how many are there? Because this is another thing that happens when everyone's hyped to go buy a ticket, like, BlizzCon or whatever. This is back in, again, old school days before new Blizzard. People, you see the hype around you. And so you want to get more of those things because, again, like, there's going to be demand, right? The problem is if you're a scalper and you're in line and you realize there's no line, why would you rush to buy more? Because people won't even buy it for the normal price. You think you can really sell it for $1,300, $1,500, $1,900, $2,000? Yeah. So I think even the scalpers gave up around like midpoint of this because they realized there was no demand for this item. So yeah, again, could have been low quantity, right? 1,000 boxes instead of 100,000. And 200 people bought it. Each of them bought like 5. So yeah, I sold out. Who cares, right? The third possibility, this is very unlikely, but is that the website was actually really well load balanced and everything went smoothly because they figured out how to do internet better than everybody in the world, right? They figured out how to internet better than Google and Amazon and everybody else combined. Highly doubt that's what happened, but hey, if you don't believe me on this one, like look what happened with the 30th anniversary advent countdown kit. Because if you're telling me Wizards between that event and this event figure out how to upgrade their systems to go handle high traffic, you are insanely lying to yourself, right? I had commenters talking about the 30th anniversary advent event where they were in line, they queued up, they hit the queue, whatever, it sold out. They were in line, they couldn't line up. They were in line or they couldn't even queue up. The web page wouldn't load. That was what's happening when an item is in high demand, not like this. So pretty obvious that there were some issues here. That's not a queue thing, right? So yeah, I don't think the demand was there. Number two, so there's that, right? Those are the 3 cases, basically, I think what happened. So some other things to consider, right? Facts to think about. So we talked about website being well managed, pretty impossible. I don't think that's true. Comparing this to the 30th anniversary countdown kit, look, that thing sold out really quickly too, but there was a major difference in the amount of demand. And you can ask everyone else, they felt it. You couldn't click on the button. It didn't respond. The web page wasn't loading. The queue wasn't coming up. Some people got the queue, but the queue didn't pop. When the queue popped, you couldn't get the item because it was already sold out. That's what actually happens, okay, when there's high demand, right? Again, the weird thing is, the super weird thing is this. Given that WOTC wants to make their Q4, right? They desperately needed this item to be successful, bump another 100 million on their top line revenues. They spent a ton of money on marketing this thing too. And what we're seeing is probably now they can't even make back their marketing money. That's pretty bad. Well, look, it's fine. Wizards going to sit on heavy bags and they deserve it because they fucked us, so they should get fucked, right? Yeah. and here's the thing. I thought about the time, 9:37. I thought it was kind of a strange time to end a sale. But if you put it into perspective and think about this from a war room perspective, imagine at WOTC, there's room, right? And there's a room full of people who are just sitting there watching the monitors and they're watching all the data and they're making decisions live. There probably somebody around 9:30 did a quick check and said, you know what, let's pull the plug. And they started had discussions about it. And then within 5 minutes, 9:35, they made the decision to pull the plug, and 9:37 is when the order actually executed to go and discontinue the sale, market sold out, whatever. That's my guess. super, you know, like just hypothesis. There's no evidence base for this, right? But that is a weird time, 9:37. You know, like why not 9:45? Now why not 9:50, right? So of course they can check in at any time, but I would think they probably said, hey, somebody said, let's let it run 30 minutes. I think if it was just like they really didn't have any faith in this item, I think it would have been pulled even earlier. I think 9:17, because again, the queue times at 9:20 something was like 1 minute. So nobody was buying this thing anymore at that time. It was just like empty, right? Like imagine you walk into a store and it's like the first day they're opening and nobody's there. Nobody even cares. And you're like, have all the signs of like, sale, we're giving you free coffee, croissants, whatever, and nobody even cares. Nobody even came to your store. That's exactly what happened this morning, right? So they're like, out of embarrassment, they shut the doors and say, oh, we sold out all the inventory. You wanted a shirt? I'm sorry, we couldn't sell you one. Yeah, right, dude, come on. Like, let's be honest. So here's the thing, we won't know, but you know how we know? Hasbro is a publicly traded company. Guess what's gonna happen in Q4 when you report your numbers? Everyone's gonna look at it and we'll know right away what happened. Yes, I know. It's going to be fuzzy because it's going to be mixed in with Warhammer. It's going to be mixed in with Brothers War, right? All the other stuff. But it's going to be pretty obvious because we're looking for a huge bump. And if there's not a huge bump, okay, well, we'll see what happens, right? Yeah, and here's the thing. Remember, they keep telling everyone, limited print runs, limited product, limited, like you know, and here's the thing. Is it limited like Mystery Booster Convention Edition? Because last time I checked, that thing is like $150 on TCG Player and no one's buying it. So how limited is this? Is it limited like Commander Legends Baldur's Gate Collector's Boosters? Because that thing, last time I checked, 147 on Amazon and nobody even wants to touch that. So how limited is this item? All right, now for the exciting part. What's next? So this happened, what's gonna happen next? The best case scenario is WOTC releases the print run numbers for the 30th anniversary, shows that it was actually truly limited, like, you know, tell you like, we only printed 10K, we gave out a K at the convention, we're planning another 2K for the 30th anniversary celebration conventions coming this year, and there was 8,000 and it was sold out, something like that, right? That would actually probably put a lot of confidence, but here's the thing, they're not gonna release print run numbers. Let's be honest, they're not gonna release any of that stuff, right? And even if they do it today, who's gonna believe them? Are you gonna believe them? Because I won't, right? At this point, like, it doesn't matter. And the thing is, why release print runs? The more you say at this point, the more problematic it'll become, because there's no number you can say that will make anyone happy at this point. Okay, so the middle of the road thing is, WOTC probably, and this is the most likely, I think, path, is WOTC probably would just store the boxes in a lost warehouse and lose the warehouse, of course, you know, and then basically for future events, products, whatever, to trickle the thing slowly as prices. I think I was chatting with one of my buddies this morning and we were floating the idea of like, what if they put this in the list slot, right? Or the convention edition of Mystery Boosters. Some of them would just drop you a 30th anniversary card. There's a possibility of that, right? And you trickle it slowly so it doesn't crash the market, keep it unique. That might be the way out of this, because look, at this point they printed a bunch of paper and you can't put this thing up for sale, right? What are you gonna do? $500, $200? You can't sell this thing anymore, because then it's gonna tell everyone to, well, guess what? The $1,000 was a ripoff. Okay, there's another option they have, right? Which is, basically, they do run a new sale of this product and see if it sells better. Or, you know, maybe they offer you a bonus pack. Maybe they say something like a secret layer thing. There's a secret thing. We're not telling you what it is until you buy it, and then we'll give you a bonus something, right? Maybe. Maybe a lower price, but I highly doubt it. But more like probably add-on bonus. Like, hey, buy a $1,000 pack and we'll give you a Collector's Booster Brothers War, something, right? Like, just add on something, right? Or again, including in event passes, prizes for events, etc. We already know that they've set some precedents with the Las Vegas 30th anniversary to give one box of 4 to everybody who bought the like top tier package. So are they going to do that again at the next 30th anniversary Magic Fest or whatever event? Magic 30? We don't know. Probably, I think, because people have a lot of feel bads if you don't do it, but at the same time, they can't charge $750 for those tickets, right? Because then it's a real feel bad because you're artificially lowering the price of your sale item. right? It's weird. The absolute worst thing that WOTC can do at this point, and this will basically lose all hope and trust, you know, for their product in the future, is, and this really depends on how many they actually printed, and you know, smelling their own farts, thinking they're going to be able to do a huge sell-through. But if they printed anywhere even north of, let's say, 200, 300, 400K boxes, oof. What if WOTC sends 90% of this to Amazon? And then have Amazon slowly dump it through the year, right? Run a little flash sales here and there, 30th anniversary, blah, 250 for 4 packs, whatever. Just slowly dump it through the year. This is a pretty low likelihood event. Now, WOTC's thinking to themselves, look, the cost of making these is like, let's say 20 bucks for the whole box and everything, you know, shipped, all that stuff. So pretty much anything they sell above that is fine. The issue is they're devaluing their cards. So honestly, at this point, if they want to keep their IP solid and make sure that people kind of like, you know, still think that Magic cards are worth what they should be or whatever, so that they have any hope of future selling anything for this kind of price, burn the rest. Just burn it. Do it on stream. Open a camera. Set the whole thing on fire. They're not going to do it, of course. But wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing that they could do? Yeah, and lastly, just want to close this out by saying, look, we don't know what the price is. We still don't know what the true price is. But now I'm more confident than ever that, you know, there's a video I made, I think it was like a month ago, about what's going to happen after the sale. And I mentioned that the scalpers are probably going to take a huge hit on this one. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen now. Given what we've seen, and nobody wants to even buy it at $1,000, them having to cut off the sale early, probably not because they actually sold out. I think the scalpers are going to have a problem moving these on the secondary market. I know the supply is going to be low, but who cares? If people don't want this product and there's such, you know, visceral hate against anyone who even buys this thing or has it at their play group, I don't know how anyone's going to purchase these things. Yeah, sure, maybe it sits in your binder forever, but I mean, I always make this argument, like, why buy the fake cards when you can buy the real ones for about the same price? Especially now, like, duels have really tanked. It's not a bad time to pick up duels if you want them. Look, you're going to pay like $300 anyways for like a collector's edition. So why not just buy the real one that you can play it everywhere and you can take it to a tournament? Anyways, yeah, honestly, WOTC, smart move. I think look, pulling that thing early was definitely the right decision. Now, long term, is everyone going to see through their crap? I don't know. I think I've seen through it. I think everyone who's watching this stuff understands it. I think you guys out there who's watching me understands it. But how many people don't know any of this stuff and they don't care and they think, oh, it did really well because it sold out? It's going to be a lot of those people too. So yeah, again, we'll see. Secondary market will tell us exactly what happens. And just because there is a uptick on some of the prices of these because they're limited does not mean they're going to be able to sustain that price long term anyways. Again, depends on what WOTC does. If they show their hand and they burn product, they cut print runs, whatever, sure, maybe these things long term have value. But the way they're doing it now, no. I'm not buying it. I didn't buy it. I don't care. I'm just going to look at other things. Hey, Blake told me, right? Buy the products I want. This is not a product I want, so fuck off, right? See you later.